Hey, we're back to look at some more of these T-charts, and turns out there is 11 levels, so this video should finish up all of our demos for the 11 levels, and then you'll have an opportunity to pick up a bunch of points doing practice problems. These higher level ones are worth a little more because they take more time, but it's also a great way to get points for Algebra 1. All right, so again, it's a T-chart, and there's multiple ways to solve this. When you're undoing it, this is one way to solve it. You're looking at the 4, you're looking at the 3, and you're looking at the 12. And you're trying to get that x by itself. And think of it this way. You're trying to infiltrate in, you're trying to find the identity of x, and you've got these 3 protectors or guards. Now, if I try to just take out the +3, the 4 and the 12 are going to get to me first. So I need to take care of either the 4 or the 12 first. And I would say, let's get rid of that 12. What does a fraction mean? So is this plus 12, minus 12, times 12, or divided by 12? The correct answer is it's divided by 12. And how do we undo a divided by 12? That's right, we're going to times it. Okay, so your next job is to tell me what is 6 times 12. All right, so that's going to take care of the 12. And you're still going to have the 4 x plus 3 on this side. And hopefully you said that 6 times 12 is 72. All right, so a long time ago, it was 2007, a student said, don't you just take care of that 4? Back then they called me Mrs. Olson. And it blew my mind. It was like, oh, I was going to distribute the 4 to everything. But actually, this student, his name was Kevin, changed my life. So if a number is up in front like this with the parentheses, what does that mean? 4 plus, 4 minus, 4 times, or 4 divided? The correct answer is it means 4 times. And how do we undo times? We divide. So now you're going to have to get out your calculator and see what 72 divided by 4 is. All right. That's going to get rid of that. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Now that the 4 is gone, now that's going to drop what I like to call the force field. So these won't be here anymore, and you'll just have x plus 3. So now x only has one protector left. It's the plus 3. And hopefully you said that 72 divided by 4 was 18. And what is our last step? That's right, we're going to subtract 3. And your answer is x equals 15. All right, so that's a level 8. It's a long ways away from level 1 when it was just a one-stepper and you were either adding or subtracting. But I'm hoping that by taking these at these different levels, it'll help you to be able to do the problems. Okay, here's a level 9. And what are you going to take care of first? The 2, the negative in front of the x, the negative 10, or the 3? Hopefully you said the 3. How are you going to get rid of the 3? We're going to multiply by 3. So you can get out your fancy calculator or your calculator on your tab, on your browser. And that 3 will be gone. And you tell us what's negative 38 times 3. Hopefully you said negative 114. All right, now based on that method that I learned from my student Kevin back in 2007, how are we going to get that 2 out of there? Yep, we're going to divide by 2. A negative divided by a positive is, oh, I'm sorry. A negative divided by a negative is Hopefully you said positive. So what's 114 divided by negative 114 divided by negative 2? Hopefully you got 57. All right, on this end, now that the 2 is gone, we're going to drop the force field, and you're left with negative x minus 10. And this can be a little bit funky, so I would suggest at this moment that you change this so it says negative 1x. All right, what are we going to undo next? The negative 1 that's right against the x, or the minus 10 that's a little further away? Hopefully you said the minus 10. So we're going to add 10 to both sides. 57 plus 10 is 67. Color palette got a little wild here on this one. And you're left with negative 1x equals 67. And depending on which math teachers you've had in the past, they may suggest a different thing at this point. But when I work with my students, I usually tell them to think of this as times negative 1. And how do you undo times negative 1? You divide by negative 1. And what's a positive divided by a negative? So your final answer is negative 67. All right. So there's a reason these are level 9s. And when you're doing the practice sheet on this, they take longer. You don't have to do as many of them, but they're worth more too. All right. So now a level 12, or I'm sorry, level 10. And we'll take a look at that. There's a lot going on. So you have to decide, what are you going to go after first? Are you going to go after, we've learned our lesson, right? We need a long one. Are we going to go after the 12, the plus 7, the divided by 9? Which one of these 3 are we going to take care of first? Hopefully you said the 12. How do you undo the plus 12? You minus 12. And 22 minus 12 is 10. All right. You've got 2 protectors of the x to take care of. Are you going to take care of the plus 7? Or are you going to take care of the divided by 9 first? The correct answer is you'll take care of the divided by 9 first. How are you going to undo that divided by 9? Times 9. 10 times 9 is, hopefully you said 90. All right, so we got an x plus 7 equals 90. And what's your last step? That's right, you subtract 7 from both sides. X equals 90 minus 7, 83. Okay, last problem in this video. We're going to take a look at the amazing level 11. And somehow we started at just subtract a number and we're done, and we've come to this point. And hopefully you've seen a lot of problems in your math life with Algebra 1. Hopefully you'll feel a sense of accomplishment that you can now look at this problem and maybe it's not as scary as it was when we started this last week. All right, so you got to decide, what am I going to take care of first? The 30, the 5, the negative, the 13, or the 7? The correct answer is you're going to take care of this 30 first. We're going to get this gone, and then we can think about these guys. All right, so it says 30 minus, but is this a positive 30 or is this a negative 30? It's a positive 30. So if I want it to go away and I want it gone, do I subtract 30 to get it out of there, or do I add 30? The correct answer is I subtract 30. If I added 30, I'd end up with 60, and I'd still just have something sitting here. So now we're going to subtract 30 from both sides. And 26 minus 30, negative 4. Wow, even a negative answer going on in the last one. Okay, now you have this moment of truth. See this negative right here? It can be on the top or it can be on the bottom. It just can't be on both. And my suggestion to you is look for either the top or the bottom, which one is less complicated, and that's where I'd send it. So I'm going to send it to the bottom. So we're going to have 5x plus 13. And instead of divided by 7, I'm going to say it's divided by a negative 7. So that keeps the value, because sometimes people accidentally put a negative 5x, and it would be a negative 5x and a negative 13. So that's just a little bit more complicated. So I say just send it downstairs. All right, what are you going to undo next? The 5, the 13, or the negative 7? You're going to undo the negative 7. So how do you undo it? You multiply by negative 7. And what is negative 4 divided or times negative 7? Now hopefully you said 28. And now our fraction is gone. We are 2 steps away from the secret identity of x and the end of this video. So what are you going to undo next? The 5 that's all cozy with the x, the 5 times, or the plus 13? The correct answer is you're going to get rid of the 13. And how do you do it? Yep, you're going to subtract 13 from both sides. You're going to be left with 5x. Oh, this doesn't look pretty. 28 minus 13. Oh, it's not so bad. It's a 15. All right, and last but not least, how do you get that 5 out of there? Well, we're going to divide by 5. So our last answer, 15 divided by 5, is 3. All right. We just did levels 8, 9, 10, and 11. You're now ready to do the practice sheet for those and pick up some points. Thanks for sticking in there with me.